Okay, this is a tutorial on how to use GDB, which is a way to set breakpoints in your code, but I want to show how to use it with the terminal only. So first off, you need to have an application that is built in Debug. In this case, I have an application where all it does is find the quadratic roots of an equation, ax squared plus 2 plus bx, so it just returns this structure here. So first we need to build it in debug, so I'm going to use a G++ command, G++, we want the output to be, let's say root finder, from root finder.c++. Now if we compiled it like this, we would not be able to debug, but we have to add the debug tag, and while we're here we might as well say that optimizations are none, so for 0, and that'll stop it from changing the code for efficiency at compile time. So now we have our program, and for most cases you can just debug right in your IDE, but I mean here would be an example where like I changed the name of the programs and I have to go into here and change this to root finder. But usually with like Visual Studio or many debuggers, this is what you would have, but there could be cases where you maybe don't have the ability, like with remote debugging, to set up your IDE. And so what we're going to do, see now the program is running, is instead we're going to debug it from the command line with GDB. So I'm going to say GDB root finder. And in order to set breakpoints interactively, we have to do set target async on, and I think it's actually a new command now. It's actually, yeah, set mi async. Sorry, mi async. And there's something that can help sometimes called terminal user interface. Oops. TUI enable. And in this case, it's shown us the source code right away, but there could be cases where you're not 100% sure where the file is, so you can use a command. Let's say after looking at the help alt command for all the various available things, you can say info sources. This is a pretty long list, and it can be difficult sometimes to sift through. So instead, you can say info sources.cpp, and now let's say we want to take a breakpoint, because in this case we don't have access to the folder, so we have to look at our in this case I brought this up with the TUI command, but you can also go list rootfinder.cpp into 100. Yeah, so this could be another way to actually see the file that is directly in the application that has debug information. So in this case, let's set a breakpoint here in this main application. So we can say break rootfinder.cpp 51. So now we've set breakpoint number 1. And in the normal case, we would just say continue or run, and we hit our breakpoint. And if we do continue, it'll just keep hitting that breakpoint. But there could be cases where you don't want the program to stop, or at least not to stop for very long. So what you can do is say commands. So I think silent to suppress an output, and you can do printf. This can be roots.x1. And then continue. And so now what it's doing is every time it hits that breakpoint, it's going to hit that print statement, and then continue and keep going. And that could be a way to monitor a variable. Yeah, and that's all I really wanted to show, is just kind of how you set normal breakpoints and how you can print things. And if you want to change, you can, in this case, let's say commands 1 for breakpoint 1. And so now we overwrote what the commands were, and it's stuck at the breakpoint again. And you can do things like info locals, and then search what's available to you, and then debug accordingly. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share for this initial tutorial. Thanks for watching.